Development. Sorry, we had a little joke last night. I said, she works for the Ministry of Development. I went, development, oh, they're developing something. But I'm sure she's keen as mustard to introduce her rangahau topic. Looking at the National Certificate, Employment Support Level 4, designing the delivery of the Noho Marae module using kaupapa wānanga, being kaitiakitanga, āhurutanga, koha and Māori ora as a model. So please everybody, join me in giving Irene Eruera Taiapa a great big round of applause as she takes the floor. Thank you.
Some things that have preceded me. So, firstly, Maria, I still want to argue the point around them not supporting the marae studies, because I know I continued the conversation with you afterwards. Why do environmental studies? What is up with that? And they won't support, the funding won't support marae-based studies. Anna talked about Willie Apiata. We're very fortunate in our ministry that we now have Willie as one of our mentors, especially with CYF and Youth at Risk. So we're very lucky in picking up Willie, and so I think he's got a contract with us for the next 30 deliveries. So yeah, he's going to be well utilised as far as, especially in the CYF arena. And kara, in the ako whakatere, I've been a student of accelerated learning, and I'm still learning. So, not that it didn't work, but I think that it's not just in intelligence that accelerated learning works. As she said, it's about the environment, it's how you interact, and it's how you receive the messaging around accelerated learning. And take my hat off, working with people with disabilities or limited abilities is probably a better word. And as we go through my material, my rangahau, that's what we work with too, and with us it's in the arena of returning them back to the employment arena. Okay, so what was my rangahau around? It was actually whether to see whether or not tapupu could be implemented into a public sector qualification, because as you know, that's what my primary role is, delivering public sector quals. And so I thought, well, the easiest one to do is the noho component, because it had a Māori connotation. Well, how wrong was I? And as we go through this, you will see exactly how wrong I was. And in fact, it can go across board. So, as the lovely Ramari alluded you to, our kaupapa wānanga, the maungatanga, ako, aro, aroteherina. So it's about, it's a unique cultural practice that this wānanga has in delivering teachings and learnings to the students or the tauira who are learning through the wānanga of Te Aroa. And so when we look at why we choose this type of learning, we come to, of course, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And it so fits, it so fits with our kaupapa, because when we look at self-actualisation, and it's about knowing in yourself what you're able to achieve and experience and what its purpose is to have the self-esteem and the confidence to be able to deliver, to get out there and show your talents, just like we have been, not just in this symposium, but all through this year. We've had some amazing presentations, not just today. We look at love and belonging, friendship that we've had in here and how we pass it on to our tauira and to our, sorry, I call them candidates. So that's what they're known to as in the public sector. So most of you will know them as tauira or students. So if you hear me referring to candidates, that's who I'm actually meaning. Then we have safety and security, and as we go through you'll see how I'm going to point out those through my rangahau. So safety and security, the health and property and family and social security, and I guess that you're thinking, oh yeah, because she works for MSD, but it's not that. I'm actually talking about our clients, and I'm actually talking about our staff who are the candidates that I teach. Sociological, breathing, food, water, how we nurture ourselves in order for us to take on learning as well. And also, it's about being reciprocal. So it's not just teaching one way, it's the ability to be taught as well. So, you know, your tauira or your candidates come to you with their own experiences and their own stories, and, you know, we talk about epistemology, or it's no different in the public sector, because when we do our case studies through our learning, that's what epistemology is. It's about telling your story, it's about telling your experience, and that's what they have to do through the qualification as well. So, my methodology, oh, shock horror. Ngā takipu. So, we know what the takipu are, and so what I did was I actually aligned them to multiple intelligence. So I would have got that question right, Kara. It was in my presentation. I would have got that. I knew what I was talking about. Okay, so when we look at visual, spatial, we look at Ngā Whetū, the Māori compass, the Māori star compass. We navigated by the stars. We didn't need a compass, we navigated. Our wakas still do that now. Bodily kinesthetic, haka, kore kore tinana. Those are the things that we do. So, you know, when you talk about Māori and non-Māori methodologies, this is what I've done, is I've aligned them. Musical, well, of course, we can sing. We can sing. We pass on our history through Mōreake, our ori, pūrākau, those sorts of things. Our interpersonal is our whānau. That's what keeps us strong. Our intrapersonal is our wairuatanga, our spirituality side, ngā atua that keep us safe. Linguistic. So what would you think linguistic would be? Te reo, ka pai, of course it is. Logical, mathematical. Naturalist. Yep, naturalist would be te taiao, marakai, that sort of thing. So what I've done is I've actually aligned a non-Māori and a Māori methodology. Ka pai? I'm really hot up here, eh? No, I don't mean I'm hot. Anyway, MRA, moving right along. So, kai te akitanga. Okay, so for us it means caring, having responsible trusteeship in the wānanga, under the wānanga banner. It's about people putting right people together in the right places. with the right responsibilities to get the job done. Kaitiaki are people who watch over or protect or are responsible for something. So as a teacher or as a kaiako, we are responsible for imparting knowledge and ensuring that the knowledge that we impart is relevant to the tauira and their learning. And in my job, it's the application and how they apply it immediately to their day-to-day job. And in frontline as they deal with clients that have various needs. And Alahurutanga, that's where we have we create our safe places. And so as a ministry, I guess that we're actually undergoing that at the moment and actually undergoing a review of our safe practices. But for me, when I do the noho, it's also about ensuring the safety of our staff whilst they're out at the away from their homes. I have to ensure their safety, I have to ensure their transport, everything's taken care of. I also do, like any of you would do, a OSH list. I have to do emergency contacts, all those sorts of things. It's about keeping them safe and ensuring that they are where they're supposed to be at the right time. Is this the same one? Aha! Koha, contributions of consequence. So this is, when I look at the things that we do and how we impart knowledge. So koha is not just tangible things. It's not monetary things. It can be so many things. And in this respect and in the environment that I work in, it's around the knowledge that we give our staff, the experiences that I've had. We worked out this morning, I think we had a conversation. 37 years I've been in the public sector. It's a really long time to be in, and not in the same job actually. I've had various jobs in the public sector. But it's about life experiences, imparting knowledge, and as I said before, also receiving knowledge from our tauira, because they too have the experiences as well. So ensuring that there is no expectation of reciprocity. So there's no expectation that if I give, you have to give back. Now that's a westernised way of thinking. When Māori give, it's not from here, it's from here. And so again, in the noble component of our qualification, it's about ensuring that our staff have an idea or have all the knowledge that they need in order to keep them informed about what's going to happen to them. So it's about me giving of myself, of my culture, especially my culture, because there are a lot of people, you can't just assume that because they're Māori that they've been on a marae. You can't just assume that they eat what we eat. So it's about informing them, giving to them of what we have as a culture and ensuring that they are safe, they feel safe with it. I guess that over the years, when I looked at whether or not these could be implemented, we looked at success and what success would look like. So prior to the implementation of my rangahau into the employment support qualification, what used to happen is that our staff would turn up at a marae, they didn't know who the people were, they didn't know any protocols, they'd get there, someone would say, you need to stand here and we'll call you on and you first just come up. So they had no sort of direction as to what they needed to do, how they needed to behave, what was going to happen, and anything like that. So what I've done now is I've actually implemented what we call a pre-noho. So I do it through a WebEx system or a computer system, and Ray and I were playing on that last night. And so it's like Skype. So I teach through Skype. And so we do the pre-noho so that I can take them through everything that's going to happen, so that by the time nothing else, they know someone. It's my face that they see, so they at least know somebody. So it immediately gives them that sense of security and safety because, oh yeah, that's Irene, know her. And it's also about building that trust, because you've got to build it pretty quickly when you're bringing them from all parts of the country to the Noho. So I've been very lucky that this has worked, and it's allowed me to ensure that I've embedded it into the Noho and everything that I do around the Noho. But then I thought, well, hang on, did it just fit there because I'm Māori and I made it fit? Well, then I took a step back too. I thought, wow, is it just because of me and that I'm Māori? Or do my colleagues do it too? Do my colleagues demonstrate ngā takipu? So I did a workshop with my colleagues, and so I put up on the wall all our takipu, what it meant, and then I said to them, your job is to go around, have a look, you've had an understanding of what the takipu mean. I want you to see or tell me whether or not you demonstrate any of those qualities that is asked of them, and lo and behold, they demonstrated because they're passionate about imparting knowledge, they're passionate about our staff succeeding. So is it because it's a passion why they succeed or why we succeed? Is it a passion it's a passion that certainly drives us? So then my next step was, okay, so if it fits within my colleagues demonstrate it, then does it go across the public sector qualifications and not just on the component? Just because the titles are Māori doesn't mean that, and I think we've heard earlier, that it can operate within a westernised world. They will probably have different names for them, but they're respectively ngā takipu. So I guess that when I started out doing my rangahau and thinking about where it fit, my assumption was that yes it would, because I would make it that way. But then I thought, oh no, it doesn't, because all my colleagues demonstrated as well. I've been really lucky that I've had the full support of my manager, who unfortunately couldn't make it today, but been very lucky that she's allowed me to do that. I've rewritten the program, the resources that we have that I've put into the program so that staff have an understanding, definitely an understanding of our culture and what is expected of them. We do 3 papers when we go to the Noho, 2 Timothy papers, and I participate in a Noho paper. You can get 6 credits for that. We do it every month. So I'm really lucky that we've been able to implement that. Some of the things that I want to talk to you about too is we talked about the innovation of education, and so some of the ideas that we have and how we implement it into our everyday practices is because we are learning from each other. We have such wide range of how we can look at things such a different way. We're so lucky as people because we can look at the different cultures and how we can implement stuff into programs pretty readily, because again it's about the passion of being able to do it. So some of the things that we looked at, our triptychs and the journeys of how we got there. My one was around my whānau. I talked about each fold, as we folded them up, represented different people of my family. My tangata rongonui was my tupuna, of course it would be. So these are just some of the things that I wanted to demonstrate, that just some of the journey through the year, not just about the symposium and the implementation of my rangahau. So in rounding off, if you all would like to have a feel underneath your seat, you will find that there's a little tonga there for you. Enjoy it. It represents the various marae that we've taken Noho to. We've been very fortunate to take them all around New Zealand. So, kia ora, and I think that's probably questions that you both would like to ask? Anything that,
I don't have a question, but from my shared experience, I went to school and studied, Takiku and got a degree in social work. Oh, I was so excited. I'm not a Māori, I'm not as Tongan. I come back and I tell my wife, like, yes, I learned a new word, Manaaki. Manaaki Tongan. And she just looked at me like, oh, here they go again. Parker's trying to put our language. And I think what I realise is that people just live it every day.
yeah.
And they don't even realise
No.
it. Anytime someone comes out home, wife, kids, get the kettle on, or get the frying pan out. So, for me, I thought I was learning something, new. But people that just live it every day and you don't realise it. It's just,
Your wife is a living experience of that, Peter.
yes, yes. and you too. You do great.
Kia ora. Kia ora. Hi.
Because you work in ministry environment, how supportive is the ministry, looking at me, but how supportive is the ministry and its overall manaakitanga of the people that work with the ministry? Because what seems to be the thing here is that you're up against the brick wall because they have a way of thinking and a way of processing. And so with what you're doing here is you're breaking that wall so that people who work in the ministry are able to help people break their own rules and live. So how is the ministry supporting what you are doing and your delivery of education programs for their employees?
Because, like you say, Kat, we are up against the brick wall, but every class that we take through the noho is slowly chipping at that wall. And so, I think one of the last lines in my rangahau was, about if I could implement this into the noho, could I implement it into service delivery? Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing? So, as I say, we're slowly, the amount of staff that we've had through, we've probably over the last 3 years since we've been doing the noho internally, had roughly about 400 staff through. So, as I say, it's a war that we're chipping away at. How supportive is the ministry? So we have a level 3 paper, level 4, we've just completed a level 5, and I'm still writing it's a program called Te Moko Tangata, which is the level 6 program of engagement with iwi. So Māori play a huge part within the ministry. We are the other key partner, and one of the reasons why I'm writing the Te Moko Tangata is there's a lot of money coming back into the community through tribunal settlement and things like that. And so it's about us getting together with the iwi and seeing what we can do for our people, because that's the reality. It's our people that are on the register, so if there's any way that we can help iwi work with their own people and strengthen their base, then we've done our job. But yeah, one class at a time, I guess, Kat, is probably the answer. But we do have a empathetic CE who's quite open to those, to us implementing the qualification. But yeah, it's the front line. Front line are the ones that are hardest hit, and so that's where we can target with the ability to be able to improve front line.
I've got a fact, Lauren, just carrying on that one, is that you said that actually you identified with your colleague, with your working colleague, that they are practicing these applications maybe in a different word, and that's awesome. And I think with our topic, they are universal. Sometimes they are lived, sometimes they're not. partnering system of the ministry and of government that is stopping this filtering down to our clients, our people that are using the ministry, our people that are coming, that are moaning all the time because they feel uncomfortable, they don't feel welcome. People are not listening to them when they go into Ministry of Social Development. And an example I can use, and I know there's lots of examples, but one that's really helped me recently is very well educated couple who are now pensioners, and the first time in their lives they've had to actually go and ask for help after stroke. And they were so intimidated, they came away with nothing. And yet I knew there was home help there for them. I knew there was somebody that could mow their lawns. I knew all of this. These are very well educated Māori people, but as soon as they got through those doors, there's suddenly a barrier. So as much as you're doing all of this beautiful mahi and all of this training, is it our policies, is it our government that's still stopping it from reaching the people where we need it to reach?
It's really hard for me to answer that because of where I work, but I guess that we shouldn't be gatekeepers. We are supposed to provide a service that is known as FACE, which is full and correct entitlement. That's what it means. I think it's how policies are interpreted, really. That's what it comes down to. And the hardest thing is that, and those who have engaged with our ministry, primarily work and income, you will find that it will change from office to office because it's how people interpret it. It's not the policies. The policies are there to be adhered to, but we also have an unwritten policy which is about doing the right thing. And one of the right things was about pushing the electricity department about not turning off. That actually came from Work and Income. It was an initiative from Work and Income. But it's not our policies. I don't think it is. I think it's the way that it's interpreted. No, I just think probably I'd go a little bit too far, but the reality is that if you're a good spin doctor, you will get the assistance you need, which is probably bottom line and probably not something that you want to hear. But that's the reality of it. Or the option is if you jump up and down, you know. But that's but it's not the policies. Believe me, I don't think it's the policies, but I just think that it's the way that people.
It's the application of said policy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you believe that with this continued training, and I applaud you for this training, with this continued training and you were talking about looking at that noho component and explaining more prior to the noho what this is all about, do you believe that might help facilitate change?
Hugely. Their whole understanding, one of the things that we get them to do is they must do mihi and they must do mihi in Te Reo. They can do it in any other language if they want to after they have completed it in Te Reo. And so the reason why we do mihi is, you know, we all know what mihi is, we all know it's about making connections, all those sorts of things. And so after they're finished, I'll get up and I'll say to them, so the person sitting on the other side of your desk comes with a whakapapa. They too are proud of who they are. And so, you know, don't just think that so-and-so's here again. They come with a whakapapa, they come with a reason. I think so because when we look at the feedback and the things that we teach, especially around the treaty stuff, a lot of the stuff is around the social impacts and the social conditions of treaty. So if you've ever studied treaty and you've looked at the social conditions, it's about how did we get to where we are now? What happened back here as to why we are here? And so when they realise that, and some of the things we brought up before, the education acts and that we brought up before, the disparities that happen, staff are starting to understand why we think the way that we do. So, is it changing? I don't think it's changing, but is it influencing their thinking? Yes. And that's more than change, that's more than what you can get from change. Yeah, so it is about influencing their thinking and just sort of, yeah, we have some massive feedback from them about how enlightening it's been. More so than the level 3 paper, I guess, because the level 3 is probably just around the historical stuff. But definitely knowing the social impacts and social conditions that happened around the treaty is certainly enlightening. They understand them, they just get it. And so by the end of it, our staff are thinking in articles and articles and Te Reo and the treaty, and also the principles there, great principles. Yeah.
What I found hard for whoever I was supporting was you have all these desks around, and that's social to all the managers, all the case managers would get up, if the screen on this, with all that person that's sitting, all their information, so the person that's sitting next to me is a little bit afraid to say anything because everyone around can hear them. That's not a routine, that's not a safe environment. They might say, oh, it's safe for us as staff. But what about the clients, the people that use that service? It's so unsafe for them. There's a lot of privacy issues there. People's names, people on the screen, they get up and walk away, you can read everything, where they live, what they look like, all this stuff's on the table, all those sorts of things. So, how's that going to, is that going to change? Is that environment going to change?
That's laziness on the part of the person, because you're not supposed to leave your screen open. You're not supposed to have, you shouldn't need to have files on your desk except for papers and time.
I did say something to somebody else once about that when I was advocating for something, and your answer was that you shouldn't be looking over it anyway. Yeah, that's not right. And then these, and you say that what you use, wow, it's you're doing hard work.
Yeah, and we
Hard
do,
work.
what does it mean? Yeah.
They do these certificates, the staff do be training in these certificates. What ongoing professional development they have, they get the certificate, can't apply that, so what you go in the field and get on with it. What development do they get after that? Do they have, refreshers?
I guess our courses are voluntary, they're not compulsory. So, yeah, it's an option to take our courses. But the other thing that we're mindful of is that not everybody gets the opportunity, and that's the reality of our ministry, because business as usual comes first. So, in a small office, they may not get the same opportunity. So if you've got 3 people in an office, probably only one of them will be able to stay. Yeah. So, although we have the options, it's the reality. But they are free. They are free throughout. Yeah. I'm mindful of the time, and I can see. So, ka pai.
Haere tono I roto I tō mahi, haere, e peke ana ki te taumata o te maunga. Haere tonu, mā te ātua koe, e tō whānau hoki, I roto I tō mahi, ka nui te aro hāti āte, ka nui te aro.
This lady has been my mentor through all my studies. She's my street. She's the reason why I took this course. I have so much to thank you for. for the way that you believed in me and encouraged me to do this. I would not have done it if it wasn't for you. So, tēnā pia te pia koe. I have to shoot people.
Statistics will show you've worked with 400 ministry people. Those 400 ministry people work with on an average of 8 people a day. Multiply that by 7, multiply that by 52. And the influence that you have in sharing all these things then amounts to thousands. Not just a little one. To thousands and effective now.
Tēnā. Kia ora. Kia ora, Edward. Well, I think there was enough relevant information there, and the confidence and the passion that Irene showed with her rangahau, and the in-depth knowledge, because she's been in there for so long, and as Whaia pointed out, how many people she's actually influenced over those years. So, he nui te meni ki a koe, Irene. Awesome. Okay, I think we could give her another huge round. Okay, I've just got couple of things I forgot to mention earlier was the Year 3 social worker ladies left us some chocolates in our cup of tea room, so I'd like to thank them. And also I have a couple of little gifts here for you too. Thank you for coming along and supporting Irene. It's been fabulous. Thank you much today. He mihi kia kōrua.